Hey guys, this is Will Roundtree, your FICO certified credit specialist, credit mastery instructor for the J. Morrison Academy, author of 2 books, Credit is King, as well as Full-Time CEO, The Shit They Don't Tell You. But more importantly, I want to take you on this journey about financial literacy, the importance of credit, how to understand credit, and how to get to that money. Let's go. Hey guys, Will Roundtree here, 2-time author of the books, Credit is King, and Full-Time CEO, The Shit They Don't Tell You About. But more importantly, I actually wanted to come to you and talk to you about credit. Not just any type of credit, but business credit. You know, one of the things that I'm starting to find out is that business credit is like the new hot topic out there right now. And there's a lot of misconception, a lot of misinformation on truly what business credit is. And so I want to deliver a couple points so that way you don't go out there and get got. And what I mean by that is that you're not going out spending a ton of money to get little to no results in what you felt or thought you were investing in. So a couple of things I want to talk to you in relations to the truth about business credit. First thing is, when it comes to business credit, people always come up to me, hey, I want to get $10 million of business credit without using my social security number. First thing I want to tell you, unless you're Jeff Bezos from Amazon, unless you're Richard Branson from, Virgin or any one of those multi-billionaire moguls, you're always going to have to use your personal guarantor or what I call your social security number. And so first thing is always, you will have to PG any type of business credit card, business line of credit, whatever the case is. I don't care if you go out there and your company is 10 years old, any of that, you always have to use your personal guarantor. Secondly, is that you do have to have good personal credit. You have to have good personal credit. What is considered good personal credit? Most banks want you to have a minimum 680 credit score, minimum. Now, this does not automatically qualify you. This is just one of the prerequisites. And of course, there's other components that go into that, but your personal credit score has a major impact and influence on if you do get approved for any type of credit towards your business. Next is you do have to have an actual company. You have to have a company or what they call an entity in the form of a LLC, incorporation, S Corp, one of those types of entity structures. Now, the type of structure setup is going to be dependent on your tax liability. Like I mentioned in a previous video, 2 individuals that you got to have on your team is a tax specialist and a credit specialist. So your tax specialist, your tax strategist will be able to let you know which entity is going to be more beneficial for you and your particular setup. Now, once you have all of these components in place, what is it about business credit that has people kind of going all over the place? So the first thing I always tell people is that when people come to me and say, hey, I want to get all this money without using my social, first thing I always ask them is why? And then I pause. They don't even know the answer why. It's because they heard somebody say, hey, you don't want to commingle your files and all that stuff, which is true. But understand the main reason people like to get business credit established separately from their personal credit is really just for the purpose of the DTI. They want to be able to keep as much debt off of their personal as possible. Meaning, they have this old saying, own nothing but control everything. Meaning on paper, you own everything. You don't own anything on paper from a personal standpoint, but you control everything from the business, the entity, the structure. That's the same thing from when it comes to business credit. So let's say you're going out purchasing real estate under your LLC. It won't be under your personal name. It'll be under your business. Now, it doesn't mean that if you default, you can just walk away, what they call non-recourse. It just means that on paper, when you go to try to purchase another house or you go to try to purchase another vehicle or do anything under your personal credit profile, the DTI, meaning the debt to income, the debt versus your income does not impact you because of all the debt that's sitting under your personal credit profile. So that's really the main primary reason why people like to separate the 2 credit profiles. Now, on top of that, and that's just one of the points I want to talk about because it's like, again, people, because they don't know any better, they just assume, hey, I can go to this bank and get all this money. So first thing I want to tell you, can you get some credit without using your personal guarantor? Yes, you can. But understand, they are non-cash cards. Non-cash cards. What does that mean? And what does that look like? That means you can get gas cards, you can get department store cards, cards that is not linked to a MasterCard or Visa, meaning if you wanted to take your Home Depot card, you cannot go to Best Buy, or you can't go to wherever else that card logo is not accepted. So understand, you can get business credit cards without using your personal guarantor, but they are non-cash cards. And then you also can qualify for vendor accounts. What are vendor accounts? Vendor accounts would be companies like Quill, Uline, Granger, most commonly referred to as what are called tier accounts. Tiered accounts to build up your Paydex score. Now, the first thing I want to say, the Paydex score is the most worthless business credit scoring model that is out there. And the reason I say that is because no bank is going to give you any credit from a cash standpoint just because you have an 80 Paydex. As a matter of fact, most banks don't even use your Paydex as a barometer to approve you for credit. Now, they'll go to your Dun & Bradstreet, or commonly referred to as DMB, may look at your Paydex just to see if you are a legitimate business. But that does not mean that they're going to give you credit just because you have an 80 Paydex. Let's think about it. Let's think about it in this capacity. All right. It doesn't take much to get an 80 Paydex. And I know for some of you, this may be a little over your heads because you may not be at this point yet, but that's okay. So let's say you have an 80 Paydex score. This is one of the business credit bureaus, and I'll go over who the other business credit bureaus are. To get an 80 Paydex, all you have to do is have 5 experiences, meaning 5 transactions with any of the tiered companies, spending at least $5 to $50 per experience. So you can go and buy some ink pens, some napkins, some envelopes, some reams of paper. Do that 5 times, you have an 80 Paydex. So let's just say you spent, $10 each transaction. You had 5 experiences. You spent $50 accumulatively. Do you really believe a bank is going to give you a $50,000 line of credit without using your social because you have an 80 Paydex and you only spent $50? So we have to start using logic when it comes to these type of things. So understand that we don't want to invest a bunch of money just trying to build a Paydex. There's an entire process to getting access to business credit, which again, you have to have good personal credit. That is the missing link. As long as you have a strong personal credit profile, as long as you have a business entity, then you'll be able to qualify for business credit cards. So just understand that you don't have to go out there and follow all of these, what they call secret strategies and different things like that. It is literally that simple, guys. Have good personal credit, have a business structure. Yes, you still want to set up your Dun & Bradstreet and build up a Paydex, but that is just for validation purposes. So when the banks go to validate and see if you're a legitimate business, then they'll know that, okay, they are an actual entity. They're an actual person, et cetera, et cetera. Again, you always have to personally guarantor, which means you have to use your social security number. And for any accounts that you may qualify for without using your social security number, they will be non-cash cards. And like I mentioned, the only reason people like to separate their personal credit from their business credit is to keep their DTI low. So hopefully you guys have learned something. If you want to get more information, make sure you click the link below. Also, if you have not done so, make sure you go out and pick up a copy. Pick up 5 copies each of my books, Credit is King and Full-Time CEO. And I appreciate you guys watching this video. And again, my name is Will Roundtree, and I'll see you guys at the top.